Good morning, operators. Stand by. Stand by. Coffee's hot, frequency's alive. 145.430. You listening to the morning hum? This is the Coffee Break Net. Steam rising with the sunrise glow, signals bouncing nice and low. Foothill light and silicon sky, morning check-ins rolling by. Call sign ready, mic in hand, voices drifting through the band. RF dancing in the air, someone's mobile somewhere out there. Keyed up, drop your sign, one at a time, you're sounding fine. Sip sort of rush the day, net control will lead the way. Coffee on the console, radio's awake, morning on the machine, give and take. Voices in the speaker, smooth and clean. So like riding on the beam, checking out, don't hesitate. This is how we caffeinate. From the hills to the bay, W6EK starts the day. Check here. AllStarLink been feeling strong. Echolink brings friends along. Mobile bass or handheld tight, everyone's sounding right. Morning traffic rolling through, signal reports 5x2, laughing in between the keys. Coffee cup and beat my R's. Mic drop, carry a tone, you're never really alone. One more round, take your place. Good vibes on the interface. Coffee on the console, radio's awake, morning on the machine, give and take. Voices in the speaker, smooth and clean. Sunlight riding on the beam. Check it out. Don't hesitate. This is how we caffeinate. Morning voices, RF stream. Coffee break, live on the machine. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Coffee's hot. Frequency's alive. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Good morning. Voices. Stand by. Stand by. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Stand by. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Stand by.
early morning light, we gaze across the desolate and arid plains. We observe the graceful gazelle grazing in the deep grasses, sleepy sloths silhouetted in the limbs of the umbrella thorn acacia tree, and the resting lion pride awaiting their mid-morning snack as the oblivious expedition party of tourists arrive. We interrupt the National Geographic program with a special airing of the Coffee Break Net, originating on the W6EK Repeater, located in Auburn, California. The Coffee Break Net, where the sun is always shining, the birds are singing, and the fish are jumping. This net is sponsored by the Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club in Northern California. We are here every day of the week from 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Please welcome your net control host and conversation facilitator, Brian AI6US. Dressed in his pith helmet, khaki shorts, and coffee mug, Brian is checking in from beautiful Meadow Vista, California. Let's get the Coffee Break Net underway, because it's a great way to start our day. Good morning, fellow explorers.
Good morning, fellow explorers. AI6US here. It is a beautiful, sunshiny day after a weekend of storms here in Northern California. An absolutely beautiful morning. Low clouds or mist hanging in the trees behind the house, making some depth. It's just absolutely gorgeous out there this morning. Hopefully it's a great Monday morning wherever you are. Let's see, today is Monday, April 13th, 2026, and let's go ahead and get the Coffee Break Net underway. Let's see, before we take any check-ins, let's find out what the national and international days are. Today is Make Lunch Count Day, branded as the day's most important meal. It's a meal I usually don't have. How about you? Does your eating schedule include a lunch? Seems typically I get a late breakfast and then just kind of hang out until dinner time. Make Lunch Count Day. I guess maybe I should listen to the national days once in a while. Today is Scrabble Day. I can't find the words to describe this game. Did you know the word Scrabble comes from means to search frantically or to scratch frantically? Search frantically. So yeah, Scrabble. I don't know if that's a game that you enjoy playing, but what were your rules at Scrabble? I know some people kind of bend them a little bit to include some slang and other things. Today is International Plant Appreciation Day, whether it be a house plant, a garden, a farm, or a forest. Today is International Plant Appreciation Day. And here's one that I really would enjoy celebrating, Peach Cobbler Day. Today is Peach Cobbler Day. Yeah, there's a lot of great cobblers out there, but there's something about peach cobbler a la mode. Oh, yeah. Good morning. Let's go ahead and get check-ins underway this morning. This is a beautiful Monday morning. Let's go ahead and start with some folks in Northern California. So it doesn't matter if you're coming in through a repeater or through AllStar or Echolink. If you are in the Northern California, I'll put you at the top of the first round, and then we'll finish out the first round with internet check-ins. Who's out there this morning? Sierra.
Take you, my friend.
Kilo Oscar 6, Kilo Mike Romeo, over. November 6th, Asher Yankee Zulu.
All right. Good morning, Rob. Heard you in there, and might be your dogs. KO6 KMR, good morning, Robert. KN6WQU, good morning, Dan. KB6SSN, good morning, Tom. And at the top of the list, Carl, N6CKV. Anybody else local coming in through from Northern California before we take internet check-ins?
Kilo Golf 6 Echo Foxtrot Juliet.
Kilo Charlie 6.
Very weird station in there. Kilo Golf 6 Echo Foxtrot. Finish the call for me.
Juliet.
Kilo Golf 6 Echo Foxtrot Juliet. Very good. We have you in the list here for a quick check-in. And now let's see who's out there coming in through Echolink or AllStar.
Well, good morning. KC8, Fox Queen Victor. That's KCFQB Mark.
This is Whiskey 6 Alpha. I was traveling in my Faraday cage, Northern California.
All right, the last two stations doubled. Let's first go with W6 Alpha. Full call.
Whiskey 6 Alpha Ocean.
Whiskey 6 Alpha Oscar. Good morning to you. And then the other station.
KJ5 Golf Whiskey November.
And good morning, Will. KJ5GWN. Anyone else for this quick in and out list?
Kilowatt 5 November Echo Romeo. Good morning, Brian.
Noel, your ears must have been burning. We talked about you last week. Good to hear you on K5NER. All right, up to the top of the list. Let's get folks checked in. Remember, these are quick in and outs. Let's keep our check-ins 2 minutes or under and respect other people's time. Good morning, Carl. N6CKV.
Good morning, Brian, and everyone else out there. Well, I got to do Sam's Club run today. Other than that, not much going on. Getting ready for my isolation starting next week. I'm on the low iodine diet right now, which means I'm not eating much of anything.
Or whatever you're eating may not have as much flavor as you usually enjoy. Well, very good. So what is the procedure then for next week?
I get a shot on Monday, a shot on Tuesday, and the radioactive iodine on Wednesday.
Another round of that. We certainly wish you well on that, and it sounds like the diet leading up to that leaves much to be desired. Well, good to hear you didn't wash away in the valley. There was quite a bit of rain, 4 days back to back. Thunder and lightning up here in Meta Vista. It was quite the weather event that swept through. Hope all is well with you, and good morning to Ruth.
Yeah, we made it through the lightning. It was, 3/4 of a mile away according to my app. So that's about it. I'm going to say 73. Everyone have a good Monday. And 6CKV and hi to Lynn.
I will certainly pass that on. Yes, indeed. There was one lightning flash that I swear I heard, or I saw after I heard the crash. They were close. Have a great day, Carl. Clear within 6CKV, and good morning to Tom, KB6SSN.
Good morning, Brian. KB6SSN. Tom here. I just arrived out here at Larry's place, and we're looking at repairing a pancake switch on an old Kenwood this morning, so that's going to be a lot of fun, don't you know? But, yeah, it's one of those switches that doesn't seem to make all the contacts when it's in this little notch. You know, something's off, so we're going to loosen it up and see if we can't get it realigned again. Lots of fun, don't you know? But, of course, the results will be very helpful. Anyway, you have a great day. Nothing really here. There was something you mentioned about one of the days that made me chuckle, but I couldn't remember. I was driving at the time. And there's a lot of standing water on Mount Vernon today as you come out towards Larry's place, so you've got to be careful of that water on the road. It's not raining, but one of those puddles must have been about 10 inches deep. It was much more significant than it appeared. So have a great day at 7-3 KB6 SSM.
Yeah, over the weekend, I think I saw several alerts about flooding over in the Mount Vernon area, which, you think of that being on the edge, dropping off of the valley. Certainly they can't get flooding there, but they obviously do. Well, you have a wonderful day there, Tom, and good luck on getting that old Kenwood repaired and back into service. Clear with KB6SSN, AI6US. And good morning, Dan, KN6WQU.
Good morning, Coffee Break Net, and Brian, and everybody out here as well. This is KN6WGU. Well, just a day off of school, not too much really going on. And those weather storms were pretty crazy. It's quite foggy down here in North Highlands area. It's quite foggy. Visibility is about 500 feet or so. And then let's see. I came home to do something, and it was lightly raining, and I came back out, and it was hailing. Made it to my truck, and I was soaking wet. It was unbelievable. But got some work done during the rain, which was pretty nice. I was able to grab a couple garages and do some stuff. So good times. Anyway, going to do an engine swap today on a Dodge Durango with the 5.7. So yay! Waiting for my little buddy to show up, and we're going to go get it done. Hopefully I get a couple other jobs after that to get done today too, so we'll see how that goes. Pretty soon a birthday is going to be coming up. Yay! Was hoping to grab the amp that we got in that time, but probably not. That's okay. I'd rather get it tested and get done right and then go from there. So anyway, excited for all the new toys coming. This is KN6WQ.
Well, certainly there's enough source for making fog for a while. We certainly got the inundation, but good that you have some work lined up there, and that hail through once again 3 days of hail, and my new garden plants made it through. I was getting a little worried there for a while, but of course we don't have the large hail that they often have in the Midwest. KN6WQU, AI6US. Happy Monday, 7-3.
7-3, Brian. Thanks for running that today.
You betcha. KO6KMR. Good morning, Robert.
Well, good morning, sir, and all the group here. Today's got a little bit of an interesting day today. Going to take the cat in to get her toenails clipped. We had some bad experiences with that in the past, so we're not going to go through that again. So we're taking her to the vet to get it done this time. Other than that, I'll be heading out to the gym after that, and then back for my CW practice. And I did get some cable ordered, and so that should be in probably in the next few days. And one of my Elmer friends is going to come over, and we're going to put that up my new mast. And then after we get back from our trip, I'll get my HF radio, like I said the other day, out.
Okay. Yeah, I once had a cat that didn't hunt enough to keep the nails worn down and would have to keep them clipped. And it's kind of a similar life and death situation when you got into a tangle with that cat. So I ended up wrapping in a towel and just releasing one claw or one leg at a time. A kitty manicure. Well, you have a wonderful day. One more thing before I let you go. What type of coax did you settle on for your station?
Well, first I'm going to go ahead and put up the UHF-VHF radio antenna first, since I already have that here. and going to get LMR 400 for that, and not sure what I'm going to get for the HF yet, but going to go ahead and do the antenna that I have first.
Well, there we go. Yeah, if you're not planning on running a high power amplifier, just go with a HF, which is very well suited for like RG8X or something if you're not going to run high power. Well, very good. Good luck on your station there, and yeah, you'll have a lot of toys to play with when you get back from vacation. Have a wonderful Monday there, Robert, and yes, let somebody else get filleted by the cat. K06KMR AI6US. You have a great, wonderful Monday.
Yeah, I certainly will, and yeah, I had some real bad experiences with the cat nails. Skin's not as strong as it used to be, so it cuts pretty easy. But on that happy note, I'm going to say Kilo Oscar 6, Kilo Mike Romeo. I'm going to turn it back over to the net. Over.
All right. Have a wonderful day there, Robert. Yes, thin skin and sharp nails. Not a good combo. Have a great day. Hey, good morning, Rob. N6XYZ.
Our Malamute into the vet to get her nails done, and she's sitting out in the waiting room, and you can hear in the back screaming, and the lady had brought her dog in to get her next appointment, and her eyes go wide when she hears this dog screaming. My wife turns to her and says, "No, it's okay, she's just getting her nails done." N6XYZ, good morning all. I love your read-ons in the morning.
Malamutes can be such, they are very, we'll just say they express themselves. We won't call them a Karen or a Chad. Yeah, you would think that they were being quartered. Rob, have a wonderful day. Glad you enjoy the opens. They're kind of a fun intro. N6XYZ AI6US. Happy Monday to you.
Have a good one, y'all. We'll talk to you later. N6XYZ.
Yeah, that Malamute was sure that they were going to be pulling those toenails out, not clipping them. KG6EFJ, good morning. Looks like maybe the first time in our log here. And just looked you up on QRZ. Guy, looks like you're out of Oroville.
Good morning, all. Yes, out of Oroville. Cruising around out in the back country.
Oh, very good. Yeah, looks like you're coming in through the Orland repeater. Nice coverage on that repeater up there. Well, what do you have going on for this Monday?
Just working today. I do environmental work, so I'm out checking some trail cams and keeping up with everything out this way.
Okay. Does this job keep you outside quite a bit, or is this just a day away from the cubicle?
A day away from the cubicle, unfortunately. Yeah, I work for a tribe out here in Oroville, and I do all their environmental work, but probably 90% at the desk.
Well, the bright side is at least you get 10% of the time out in the field. Well, very good. Well, nice to meet you there, Guy. My name is Brian with an I, and yeah, we're here every day of the week. Yeah, we're on the W6GRC repeater as well for the Coffee Break Net during the net hours, 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. So drop on by again sometime.
I sure will. Thank you very much. KG6EFJ.
All right, clearing with Guy, KG6EFJ. First time check-in. Welcome. And let's see. Good morning, Mark. Let's see what Mark is up to. KC8FQV.
All right. Well, KCFQV. I went to the Ham Fest Saturday. It was good. Seen a lot of folks, seen a lot of equipment. I looked at some Facebook stuff that was people posted. You know, they took pictures there because the one guy said he had a table piled high when I seen him, and I did see it when I seen it live. It was a lot less there, but someone was there earlier in the morning, and I seen that picture, and I said, wow, it was something. Yeah, there was some stuff there that, you know, they say you gotta get there early. Well, I didn't need anything, but I know he was selling stuff. Remember, he sold some stuff for a silent key. And I knew the guy, you know, 64 degrees out right now. I knew the guy. You know, I talked to the guy that became a silent key on March 21st, K8 VTR. Yeah, easy call to remember. VTR, videotape recorder. Videotape recorder. VTR, Jimmy. Yeah, so everything else is going good here. So, other than that, I'll send it back to Net. Yeah, I missed Friday night meeting. I was wanting to do that. So, we'll send it back your way, KCFQV. Yeah, sometimes when you guys are doing that right, I'm wondering, is the Net over with or what? So, we'll send it back to Net now, KCFQV.
Yep, really great presentation, of course, for those folks in person at the in Auburn, California for the Ham Club meeting, but yeah, available via Zoom, and yeah, that presentation will be on YouTube in the next week or so as well. But WA8MPA Jim gave a great presentation on common mode and utilizing torides to you know, control the signal coming back down into the shack. A really well done presentation. Mark, of course, none of us ever go to a ham fest because we need anything. KC8FQV AI6US. You have a great Monday.
Yep, you do too. And you know what the greatest thing now is? Well, not great. It is great. You know, all this social media stuff, if it's done right and doesn't get abused, you know, you can see stuff and see, and if you can't get there, it makes it, and you feel like you were there, sort of. So I'll send it back your way, KCFQV 73.
Yep. No, there's a lot of great information out there. Of course, on top of that, there's YouTube University. So many things out there. So you have a wonderful day there, Mark. Clear with KC8FQV, and good morning, Jeff. Whiskey 6 Alpha Oscar.
Good morning, Brian. This is W6AO, formerly AK6SQ, formerly KO6MMI. But that is all that I will be changing my call sign. I have reached the pinnacle of a 1x2, and now I can get on with some furious CWing. Not much for the Net, except to say good morning to everyone. I hope you all are doing great. My wife is back home from her bariatric/restorative surgery and doing well. She was out of the hospital in record time and has been recovering at a great rate. That's my big point and big happiness for the Net today. Back to you.
Well, first of all, I was trying to put two and two together here, and I had to look at your QRZ page to verify who you were, and it took me a little while when I heard that call to put it together. Oh, that's Jeff. Well, I'm glad to hear your wife is recovering well and on the mend, and I know that you were hoping to get a little work in on maybe your antenna project. Not sure if the weather and the care for your wife allowed you to do that yet.
No, truthfully, no. There's not been any big rush to try and get everything up. I'd like to have everything kind of ready to go and have the plan all set, and then get it all done. Right now, I've just been practicing CW, kind of getting the the new call under the fingertips, as it were. And just trying it on for size. I promise not to change my call sign again anytime recently. I know it's been a lot recent. Speaking of, actually have a lot of history with this call sign, which I think is very interesting, but I'm not going to bore the net with that for a quick check-in. Maybe for Rag Shoe later on, today or tomorrow, some other time. I'll send it back to you and wish everyone a wonderful day today.
Oh, you know how to do a check-in. Leave us hanging, wanting more. We'll look forward to find out what the history is on your call sign, Whiskey 6 Alpha Oscar. Have a wonderful day, and best to your wife there as she recovers. And definitely looks like we have some beautiful weather that's going to be calling you outside today to work on maybe your antenna project. Clear with W6 Alpha Oscar. And good morning, Will. KJ5 Golf Whiskey November, Oklahoma City.
Good morning, Brian. Looks like we're going to be getting what you got last week and this weekend. Calling for about a 45 to 60% chance of rain tomorrow, and then another storm system comes through on Friday with a break in between there. So today and maybe some on Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday may get a little dicey here for us here in the Sooner State later on in the week. I'm excited because I am getting a death rig tomorrow. Yes, the guy is bringing it down from Missouri in the morning, and we'll be here about 11:30 or 12 o'clock noon local. So by this time Wednesday morning, I will have an HF station set up at my house. Go ahead, Brian. KJ5 Golf Whiskey November.
And hand-delivered on top of it. That's cool. That's cool. Maybe the gentleman can kind of give you some pointers on the operation and get you all set up for success. Well, awesome. Look forward to catching you on HF and getting you in the log there as well. Good luck with the weather we're sending your way. It certainly hit us hard. We definitely got a dumping and some wild weather. KJ5 Golf Whiskey November. Will, happy Monday.
Yeah, we got a chance of tornadoes, a slight chance of tornadoes starting tomorrow. So anyway, got to be weather aware, and I'm aware of that. So anyway, back over to you, Brian. This is KJ5 Golf Whiskey November. We're clear and listening.
Yeah, rare do we get those type of weather systems out our way. Occasionally we'll get a tornado, but yeah, that's the one thing about living in the Midwest. Always keep your head on a swivel for those things. KJ5 GWN AI 6US. And good morning, Noel. It has been too long. We were talking about the Flex radio project, the accessibility project for Flex. K5NER, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. I had problems with my M1KE profile for the Coffee Break Net, and here Foothills Club, I fixed it because I was like, I hadn't talked to these guys in a while, and Patrick told me this morning, they're asking about JJ Flex, and I don't know anything. Well, all I can say, because it is a short in and out, is we're pretty much, the plans are, it's going to be similar to Ether SDR, but accessible, because Ether SDR is not accessible. And we will have a lot more things in there, like basically will be a 1 application to rule them all kind of thing. So we'll be able to open up SDR receivers, the Flex receivers, ICOM 7300s, as well as cat control, and do all that accessibly. And then also have planned Mac OS, iOS, and Android. Not like I don't have much planned for this thing, but the neat thing with iOS and Android is that going to be able to send CW using the iPhone, dividing it up into segments, so you can just tap and do iambic on the iPhone while you're connected to the Windows or Mac instance. So that's going to be super cool. I cannot wait to be able to sit in my chair and send CW with my phone. That's going to be really cool. But that's what we're doing.
Okay, yeah, we were talking about that project and wondering how it was progressing. I don't know if Patrick had passed on to you. I've been playing with a new software that was released initially on Linux, and now it's been ported over to all the other platforms, and or it can be built from that. But yeah, it's a GitHub project called Aether SDR, AETHER SDR, and they are developing it on using Claude and doing the validation using Claude, and it's just an incredible development that's going on. So I wasn't sure if you were familiar with that project as well.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I use Claude for my pair coding as well, as you may know. I am not involved with their project because I've got way too much to deal with mine, but Ether SDR isn't very accessible. I'm not sure what they use. I haven't looked at their GitHub stuff. I may take a look at it and see, but it just doesn't work. But we're going to go further in that, there's all kinds of different applications that do voice and speaking, settings and control and stuff. So we're going to just have one center of excellence where folks can either with accessibility or not. And I'm hopefully want to talk to you guys, somebody in this group who can help me do some mock-up designs, not real complex, but just cool-looking UI. Basically Claude says, I just need rough pictures, and so, but I'm not ready for that yet. But I figure somebody would be willing to help me out and make it look cool, because there are going to be some things with JJ Flexible that will be cool for sighted folks too. Some recording things, being able to do cat and send your audio from Flex directly to your other radios and stuff like that. So I will let you guys know when that is. Otherwise, not much going going on. I'm
all good
not on the
information.
air,
Thank you,
working
Noel.
on antennas and panels and stuff like that.
Quite interesting. I would find it very interesting if there weren't some
73.
inroads
Ryan, sorry,
compatibility.
I'm talking so quickly. I'm just trying
Ether
to get
SDR
in. I didn't realize it was an in-out thing. I should have
open
come
source,
in
of course,
later,
based on Qt6,
hello, and
I'll
check in correctly
it was
tomorrow.
all Claude-coded,
maybe have a
so
little bit more time to talk
probably
about
should be an interesting thing to source off of for accessibility. I would think those are some key core things that would make it much more friendly than the original SDR software. Well, you have a wonderful day. Great to hear you in again, and I hope life continues to treat you well, my friend.
I'm sorry, I doubled with you for a second, but I'll check in tomorrow, and when there's a little bit more time. I continue to have problems from time to time with my mouth. I have a salivary gland that gets plugged up occasionally and gets infected, so that's painful, but otherwise. But yeah, love to talk about it more, and would love to possibly have some help later on when I get ready to do, UI for sighted people, because it is not only going to be for blind people, it's a for everybody product. So it's going to be very cool. I am really looking forward to everything that I had planned. 73, AI6US K5NER. Bye-bye.
All right, Noel, you have a wonderful day. Thanks for checking in this morning. And, just let us know what you're up to, and we'll, we certainly have quite a few members here and a lot of people that are interested in supporting projects like that. K5NER AI6US. Just looking out the window here, we've been in the 40s and everything is totally soaked. The sun is out and steam is coming off of the sides of the sequoias and the pine trees. It's just pretty incredible to see the steam coming off of the bark. Good morning, Coffee Break Net. Let's go ahead and take one more round of quick in and outs as you start your day. I'm Brian, AI6US, and welcome to the Coffee Break Net.
KB6LUV, good morning. KN6WGV, good morning.
K6DCL, good morning.
All right. Good morning, Dave, K6DCL. And good morning to, let's see, KN6WGV. Good morning to you. And good morning to Brett, KB6LUV. Did I miss anyone? All right. Let's check in with Brett. Good morning, Brett, KB6LUV.
AI6US, KB6LUV, good morning, Brett here. Yep, it is a cloudy, overcast day here in South Natomas, but at least the heavens have not opened up to release the buckets and buckets of water that fell over a very short period of time. I know we need water and rain, but can we get it not all at once, please?
Yeah, was to a point. I'm going to have to go up and check the gutters, but the gutters were clean when I checked them at the beginning of the week, and we got so much rain at one point yesterday that the one of the gutters on the back side of the house was just could not handle it. It was like, well, maybe I should have gotten the large 6-inch down pipes. Well, glad you made it through it. I assure you the sun is out, the birds are singing, the fish are jumping, and the skies are blue, actually, up here in Meta Vista. It is just a gorgeous morning. You have to turn down the shades a little bit because the sun is shining in my eyes sitting at the desk.
Nice. Well, I am sure that with the passing of this set of storms that I think we might be settling into a summer pattern. I'm sure Mark will let us know if that is the case or not, but I think we're about to hit summer. So over the weekend, didn't do a whole lot of nothing. It was a Netflix and chill kind of weekend. Hanging out with the wife, doing some 3D printing, and that's about it. It was a very nice, lazy weekend. So now it's back to the grind. Got the nose to the grind wheel. So hope you had a nice weekend. Hopefully you didn't have to build an ark or whatnot. So these are quick in and outs. Oh, I will say good morning to my mom. I'm not sure if she's on or not this morning. She was having some problems with her phone. So morning, Mom. Bonnie in Newton, Kansas. If you're there. If not, we'll touch base soon. I just didn't want to get my knuckles wrapped by the teacher that I didn't say good morning to my mom this morning. Hi. All right. Everybody else up in Coffee Break Net land, have an amazing day. Be blessed. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Kilo Bravo 6 Lima Uniform Victor. KB6LUV Brett. Be of love. 73.
Yeah, just looked it up, and it looks like only two 2 folks are listening in on Broadcastify this morning, so a pretty small, very small audience listening in. And so, maybe Bonnie is missing today. Well, best to her if she is monitoring. Good morning to you. And, this weekend was definitely a chill weekend. And didn't get, no. I finalized the taxes, and I'm getting a great refund back, but that's just because I didn't make great money last year. Boo! KB6LUV, AI6US, happy Monday.
Thanks, Brian. Taxes. I'm going to be slapped sideways, up one side and down the other. I had to pay my quarterlies up front this week, as well as 2025. My pocketbook hurts. With that, I will say 73. KB6LUV, be of love.
Yeah, and then sometimes you pay your quarterlies and you end up overpaying at the end of the year, and oh man. Oh, I'm sure that 2026 is going to be a better year. Have a great day, Brett. And yes, hopefully the sun comes out soon, because it is just gorgeous up here in the foothills. KB6LUV, AI6US. And good morning. Let's see, a Kilo November 6, Whiskey Golf Victor. Good morning. I don't have you coming up in the log here. My name is Brian, and welcome.
Brian, it's Greg from the Western States Trail, although today I'm in my house, so I know the call sign's not recognizable quite yet, but hopefully we'll get there.
Do I feel like a fool? Yes, checked in on a VE session on top of it all, and talked to you numerous times. Hey, sorry, Greg. Well, you did a run with John on the Western States Trail for part of the run, and like Joe pointed out to us, it wasn't great weather to be sitting outside in a park, but it sounded like excellent weather to be running in.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, John, KO6EWT, and myself. Just for anyone listening, we wanted to do a little radio coverage check on the Western States Trail, going down from Forest Hill to Drivers Flat, Ruckachuk Campground. And thank you very much, Brian, for you and Orion and Joe the other day checking in on us, and we kept tracking our progress along the way.
Well, I know we have some folks in the area that still may have some time free coming up. Are you still looking for any volunteers for the radio communications for the Canyons Endurance Run?
Yes, absolutely. I've got some spots open at the Cool Fire Station, at Brown's Bar, down in the canyon, and also Auburn Lake Trails for some aid station spots. And I definitely could fill in a couple of shifts at Net Control, so we aren't up all night too much. So anybody that's interested, absolutely, I would love to talk to them.
You know, and it's probably one of the, I'm not going to say probably, it is the best way to learn, to get out there and be involved. And, even if all you're doing is shadowing somebody at an aid station or Net Control and just seeing how it's done, just observe and then help out as you can. And then next year or the next event, you'll have the confidence knowing that you can just step right in there. But any of these roles, so easy, and it sounds like you have some great locations. I mean, a couple of those locations drive right up to them.
Yeah, I think for anybody that wants to get into it, the Cool Fire Station, that'd be a great place. It's not hard to access, of course. You can just set right up. It's almost like a little mini camping trip. You're out there, you're seeing all the runners, you're seeing all the aid station activities. ALT is good. It's a little more remote, but it's drivable. Brown's Bar, I think you may need to have, some high clearance a little bit, maybe. I haven't actually done the aid station out there, but I think that's probably a little harder to get to, but not bad. Anybody that sort of wants to just hang out for the weekend, and or just one shift even is great, and just have a good time and see everybody going through, see some of these runners just pushing themselves to the limit. It's always a good time.
I still remember the first volunteer radio event that I did, and I just was so unsure. I just thought, boy, I don't have a skill set to be able to help out, and I got involved and got to work a radio alongside. Had an Elmer that I worked with, and then I just realized, really, it's just making sure that you are listening to the needs that are on the radio or passing on traffic, and it was a ton of fun. Some of the best learning I've ever done in amateur radio is because of working volunteer radio events. There is no doubt about it, and it is so much fun. These aid stations, especially, a lot of them, they have a little party welcoming in the runners, and just a good vibe.
Yeah, same experience for me. I mean, I'm a runner myself, so I've experienced the race from that side, but I've really felt over the last couple of years getting involved in the radio aspect of it, the logistics, the safety. It's a great way for me to feel like when I'm participating in these events on the radio side, I'm helping keep the runners safe, addressing any of the needs at the aid stations. Like you said, the aid stations. Yeah, the aid stations just want to keep the runners going down the course.
Uh-oh, Greg. I don't know if your battery's starting to go down on you there, but lost, I think, the last part of your comment there. But, yeah, absolutely. So if you are in the greater Sacramento area and you would like to help out, this is going to be coming up a week and a half from now, the 24th, 25th, and 26th. So 24th and 25th are going to be very, very, a lot of openings for shifts, and then kind of wrapping up on the 26th. But if you have any availability, this is a very fun event, and I'll just say it is extremely well organized. And Greg, you are taking over this year some of the communication role from K6SAT, Joe, who has done it for many, many years. And I'll say these events are some of the best organized events of any of the radio communication events. So anybody out there to learn about supporting community events with amateur radio, these are wonderful events to get involved with. So before I let you go, I know this was a quick in and out, but Greg, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, definitely. Best way, I think, is I could probably drop a message on the CR Foothills mailing list with my email address, and that would be the best way.
All right, very good. Yeah, make sure you get that over to Smitty, because I think today or tomorrow there will be a new QST going out, and yeah, definitely, or even put it on the on our Facebook page. If you do Facebook, just put an appeal up on our Facebook page as well. Well, Greg, I'm sorry, I just totally out of context for your call. I will make sure that doesn't happen when I'm working with you in Net Control next weekend.
No problem, all good. I appreciate your support, and we'll see you soon. KN6WGV.
All right, Greg, have a wonderful Monday. And just by the way, the only day of the net that's going to be affected is going to be Saturday, the 25th. There will be no Coffee Break Net, as we're giving priority usage of the W6EK 2-meter repeater from 10 a.m. on Friday through 2 a.m. on Sunday. That's the 24th, 25th, and 26th. So the only Coffee Break Net that will be impacted will be Saturday, the 25th. Otherwise, all nodes will be in monitor mode, so if you want to listen in to some of the traffic, feel free to come on over and listen in, but it will be in receive monitor mode only. Key-ups from the internet will not be will not be on the repeater during that time. It will just be open for local traffic only. So just kind of be aware that will be the 24th, starting at 10 a.m. through 2 a.m. on the 26th, the morning of the 26th. Good morning, Coffee Break Net. Let's go ahead and check in with Dave, K6DCL. I just wonder how many biscottis you and have consumed while waiting for your turn in line. Good morning, Dave.
Hey, good morning, Brian. K6DCL here. Only one biscotti is consumed from the time I came on until now. So I'm learning how to eat them slowly. And I've been trying to get myself to only have one, which is a challenge, but I'm trying it. Other than that, the sun came out early this morning and looks absolutely gorgeous out. And don't have the steam that you talked about coming off the bark, but we are saturated, and the pollen has been swept away for a while, and we're rejoicing about that. And I still sniffle. But other than that, Lucy's doing good. I'm doing good. I have my urology appointment tomorrow. Just not looking forward to it, but I'll be knocked out while he does the last procedure. And he's a wizard, so I know it's going to come out good. But still not looking forward to it, even though I'm going to be sedated and all that stuff, but still not looking forward to it. Anyway, I won't be on tomorrow morning, so y'all think about me while I go through my procedure. K6DCL 73 Brian and 73 to the net. Okay, everybody have a wonderful day. K6DCL.
Well, Dave, we'll certainly be thinking of you tomorrow. We will not be thinking of the procedure. As you talked about it, I just remember I had an uncle who liked to smoke a pipe, and I remember him cleaning his pipe. I don't know why that visual came to mind. Good luck to you, and you have a wonderful Monday. Good morning to Lucy, and man, you have more self-control than I do. If Lynn sits down a container of biscottis, I can easily make 4 or 5 of them disappear. Not the best. They don't disappear on my waistline, I'm telling you. K6DCL AI6US. Have a great day, Dave, and good luck to you tomorrow.
Just gotta say, Brian, tell when Lynn goes to Costco, if that's where she goes, Costco also has these small biscottis. I won't call them tiny. And that's what I used to eat quite some time ago. And there's no chocolate on them. There's no almonds inside them. It's just pure biscotti. And I tell you, I have devoured a lot of those babies. Take care. See you later, K6DCL. We're off.
Oh, and then Kirkland's signature animal crackers in the 4-pound pack. If you can't make biscotti disappear, you can make those disappear faster than biscotti. K6DCL AI6US. Happy Monday, 7-3. Good morning, Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater. I'm just going to remind you that we have a monthly breakfast and fox hunt coming up on April 25th. Of course, the breakfast will be at Mel's Diner on Highway 49 in Auburn, California at 7:30 a.m. Then at 10 a.m. there will be a fox hunt. And and that will be hosted by Matt, KO6IMP. He will be your Fox tender for that event. Then, of course, during that same time, Canyon's Endurance Run is running April 24th, Friday at 10 a.m. through April 26th at 2 a.m. Sunday morning. Echolink and AllStar will be in monitor mode during that time. So it will be local traffic only. You can listen in to the traffic from the Canyon's Endurance Run, but transmissions through AllStar or Echolink will not be transmitted on the repeater. Let's see, no Coffee Break Net, of course, Saturday, April 25th, because of the priority usage for the Canyon's Endurance Run. Also, do you know somebody who wants to become a ham radio operator? Orion and team will be starting another tech class coming on April 21st. Every Tuesday evening, I think this is 8 sessions. They will be going through the technician license training. This is a very immersive, awesome class where you learn the technology, and you get, if you're local, this can be on Zoom, of course, but if you're local, there's 2 labs that you can do as well. Get on the air, where you get to actually try out, hopping on the repeater and talking with people along with the control operator, and then also an antenna build. So you build an antenna on one of the labs and get to take that home for your first station. So that's a technician class starting Tuesday, April 21st, 7 p.m. on Zoom, and I believe that's 8 sessions. So if you know of anybody who wants to get into amateur radio and wants to have a good basis of understanding, people speak very highly of these classes. Information is on W6EK.org. That's a club website, Whiskey6EchoKilo.org. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take some more check-ins. I'm Brian, AI6US. If you're short on time and you want to just quickly get in and out and on your way, let me know you want to be in and out. Otherwise, good morning. Welcome to the Coffee Break Net.
Into DYR6NTD, in and out. Good morning, all. Sierra. Kilo 6, Delta X-ray, November, in and out. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Brian.
KO6TH.
WB6BJN at the bottom of the list.
W6STW up at Pollock Pines.
KI6HFP.
KA1JXY. Joe in Massachusetts.
All right, there was a lot of excitement to get checked in there at the beginning, so I'm going to have some cleanup to do. So don't get offended if I did not hear your call. Good morning, Joel, KA1JXY. Good morning to, Chris, KI6HFP. Good morning, W6STW. Good morning, WB6BJN. Mark, I'll put you down at the bottom of the list. And the only in and out that I copied in this whole list is, I'm sure there's more, K6DXN. Good morning there, Simone, for in and out. N9MUF, good morning, Daniel. And up at the top is into DYI. Good morning to Patrick. Okay, give me the bad news. Who did I miss? Please spread it out. I'll get you on the list.
KO6TH. Good morning.
In and out.
All right, the only one I heard was KO6TH. Good morning, Greg. And there was somebody else.
K6NTD, Sam and Lemons, in and out. Thank you.
All right, Sam, K6NTD for in and out, so you'll be the second in and out. And then there was a third person in there. I know, sometimes these check-ins take a lot of patience Not only yours, but mine. Who did I miss?
Kilo Oscar 6, Echo Bravo Quebec, in and out.
Good morning, Stephen, KO6EBQ for in and out. Anyone else that I missed? All right, so I have Simone, Sam, and Stephen as in and outs. Anybody else in this list in and out? All right. Good morning, Simone. Let's visit with our quick in and outs, get them on their way. K6DXN. Good morning. I saw your new trailer. That is a pretty clean rig. It looks like you guys did a POTA operation out of your new small trailer. Looked fun.
Hey, thanks for watching that. Yeah, I just got done listening to it myself. Thanks to Jimmy for putting that up there. Yep, it's going to be a whole bunch of fun, and summer coming, and just get some little local camping trips in. Get Dawn used to pulling it with the old Trailblazer, and yep, that's about that. So you covered what I was going to say, so I guess I'm done now. Also today I'm taking delivery, hopefully today, of a new set of the Oakley Metas. So I sold my Ray-Ban Metas to Jimmy. He wanted them to shoot little videos and have fun with. So luckily I'm blessed enough to have a friend that's got a good connection down there in Southern Cal, and he's mailing me up a pair of the Oakley, I think they're called HTSN or something like that. Have a longer battery life, up to 8 hour battery life, as opposed to the up to 4 hour battery life, which, yeah, that's if you're wearing them and not doing anything, in my experience. So I'm looking forward to getting those, getting them all linked to my phone, and playing with the new Oakley Meta glasses. That's about all I got. It's beautiful. I feel the sun here coming in through my window. Hopefully we'll have happy spot weather again later on this week. Well, my garden plants, other than being pummeled by hail, were quite happy with this nice dumping of rain and the cooler weather for them to acclimate into the soil. But hey, very cool. Boy, we're just going to have to call you the POTA Metas, the Meta POTAs. But so other than just an 8 hour battery, any other better resolution or better interface, anything different on the Oakley? I don't know, because most everything that's upgraded is usually done through the app. I don't know if the speakers have better sound. I don't know. I know they have a 12 megapixel camera. I don't even know what the megapixels were on the ones that I was previously using. But once I get them on my face and paired to my phone and all the settings set up, I can report more back. But I'm looking forward to trying them out. Excellent. Well, look forward to hearing your review on that, and those definitely seem to be a game changer for interactivity on things that maybe aren't that accessible. Simone, great to have you drop by this morning, and happy Monday to you. K6DXN AI6US. Hey, 73, Brian. Thanks for taking my check-in. Kilo 6 Delta X-ray November. You betcha. K6NTD. Good morning, Sam. Well, I'm glad I didn't build that up and play the drum roll. K6NTD for quick in and out. Glad I saved the drum roll for Steven, KO6EBQ. Over to you.
Good morning, Brian and Annette. Yeah, my arms are cut up a little bit, but I did get my FTM 510 installed in the 2019 Chevy Silverado. There are no cables that are visible, and no broken tabs, no broken plastic pieces on the consoles and all that, so I'm quite pleased with that.
Well, excellent. Did you separate the head unit from the base, and how did you barrel? How did you? Where's the power coming through the firewall or independent battery?
Right now, it's wired directly to the battery. Nothing hanging off the battery. Directly to the terminals through the little port that they provide to get through the firewall, but you can easily see it from the engine side, but from the cabin side it was buried underneath the glove box. I'm sure there was probably an easier way, but I had to take like the center console out and kind of work my way up to get that glove box shroud off. That took some work, but yeah, powers directly to the battery. The head is in the console, the center or the front of the dash, and the radio itself is in the console, so it's split. And then obviously the antenna hanging out the back. Antenna, I still got to figure out exactly which one I want and where, but I have provisions for that.
Well, excellent. You obviously found someplace dry to pull this project off last weekend.
Well, half the truck was dry. It was in the garage and sticking out, but yeah, I made it work. It was a good time. So with that, it's another advancement in my upgrading my technology here. I think that's my 2 minutes. So with that, Brian, I'll say thank you. 7-3 to all. Talk soon. KO6EBQ clear.
All right, Stephen. Well, you have a wonderful day, and thanks for all you do for the club, and also I want to catch up with you sometime to find out about your call-outs for the search and rescue. Just want to kind of get an update from you sometime on that. KO6EBQ, AI6US. You have a wonderful day, 7-3. And let's start working down the list now from the top into DYI. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning, Brian, and everyone on the net. Hope everyone's doing well. Yep, start of a kind of steamy week here. Not really looking forward to that, but it is what it is, I guess. Air conditioners are here for a reason.
I wasn't tracking what your weather was. So you're going instantly into summer now? I guess the ice melted?
Oh yeah, we are going to be in basically the mid to upper 80s all week, and then up around 90 this weekend, and then some rain is going to come through, and that'll cool us down for a while. But yeah, this week is going to be basically pretty much the weather that they had at the height of last summer.
Definitely, the weather has been crazy. Well, I guess it's just been unpredictable. Well, yeah, air conditioning is made for a reason, and as long as you have a good reason to stay in it, I think it's going to be fine. What do you have going on this week?
I don't think I have anything particularly exciting going on this week, at least not that I know of, unless something comes up. Spent a bunch of time updating a bunch of All-Star nodes. There was a big, huge, actually, upgrade for ASL3. I'll get more into the weeds about that on tonight's All Nodes Net, but it's been a very interesting cycle, and I manage a bunch of nodes, both for myself and for other people, so I've been kind of making sure all that goes smoothly.
Of course, I will be listening to the net tonight, but a little tease, is there a reason that I should update my ASL3?
Well, the biggest thing that happened is probably one of the biggest things that has ever actually happened to ASL3. This is one of those things that it may not mean much to some people, but to others, you'll be either jumping for joy or staring at your radio in confusion. But they have finally removed the dependency on the DADI module for AppRPT, which means a bunch of things. It means less packet loss. It means less weird jitter sometimes, more connections per node, even on more restricted nodes. So I'm thinking those of us, and I'm definitely one of those who have held out on using ham VoIP to host large numbers of connections, maybe a good reason to revisit doing that on ASL3. I know we've talked about that for W6EK. There's more possibility to run it on different hardware and software configurations now. It's a pretty big deal, and it's fundamentally the same on the outside, but it makes conference connections internally much, much differently now. It looks quite different in the log as well. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
All right. So would this be a start from scratch on programming or reprogramming, or is this something that you can just perform an update and user information gets ported over, or is it something that goes a little deeper than that?
Well, on an existing ASL3 node, the idea is you should just be able to straight out upgrade the way you would normally upgrade, and it should, I say should, it should go well, but I have seen a couple of instances where it didn't. And fortunately, they were pretty easy things to fix, but there were a couple of little complications with two of the nodes that I upgraded, and it was mostly just kind of going through the logs and figuring out what broke and going, okay, they loaded this module that doesn't really need to be there anymore, and they, in one instance, there was a random line that appeared at the end of another module statement, but that was kind of an edge case, so for most people, it should be fine, basically. But it does kind of fundamentally change the way a lot of the stuff works under the hood. And Tom, if you're listening, you'll be happy to know that they have improved the debug logs greatly on the voter channel as well. So you can get a lot more useful information and diagnostics out of the voter channel.
My. Well, maybe we are getting closer to getting the support to get that changed over on the W6EK repeater here. Well, I sit on my local ASL node looking at it going, I wonder if I should just hit update, and it's not like I'm doing anything but monitoring right now. I think I'm going to wait till after the net.
Yeah, that's probably for the best. I mean, it should be fine, but just in case it's not, don't give yourself the added stress while you're controlling a net.
Oh, yeah, you guys do that well enough. Well, Patrick, thanks for the kind of the quick overview of what we can expect this evening on the All Nodes Net. And, of course, the All Nodes Net is on AllStar and Echolink. 51018 and connected nodes, and head on over to W6EK.org, click on the repeaters page, and you'll see a description of the nets, and it will give you some nice distributed check-in nodes that you can use to kind of spread the load out to different nodes. So glad that you make that available. Also, Patrick, I just want to do a big shout-out to you. Thank you for helping us out and getting the event mode tested this weekend. And it looks like it is all scheduled to go into event mode for the Canyons Endurance Run. I really appreciate the effort that you put into developing that and simplifying the process.
Yep, it's all scheduled and ready to go. I still might want to get with you at some point later this week to test the other function that I haven't actually baked into the script yet, but the even if that doesn't happen, it'll still it'll work as normal. And yeah, developing that was kind of interesting because this system is so customized. I think once we move everything over to ASL3, stuff like that will be quite a bit easier to do in the future.
Well, we'll certainly look forward to that. I just know that you put an awful lot of work into these systems, and without your expertise, we would have struggled and probably would not have nearly the robust system, even though once in a while it kicks us, but no fault of yours. But as long as we have the date right on the event, we're golden. Hey, we'll catch you this evening on the All Nodes Net, 6 p.m. Pacific, that's 9 p.m. Eastern.
Sounds good, Brian. Yep, Tom will be doing it this week, so looking forward to seeing what else is going on in the world of nodes. And the All Nodes Net is also available on D-Star and DMR. All that stuff is on the W6EK.org page under the net description. So if for some reason you're hearing this and you don't have AllStar or Echolink, and there's no good reason not to at least have Echolink, then you can get to it through a couple of other modes as well. And those are just there mostly as courtesy. Don't really expect the traffic to be too high from that, but it just didn't seem right to talk about all nodes and then not have ways for those other nodes to get in if they want to. Anyway, Brian, I'll say 7-3 for now. I'll let you get on with the rest of the net. Have a great day. I'll catch you tomorrow. AI6US N2DYI.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to have to get with you and Tom on the All Nodes Net information because it is just listing the 3 different All-Star nodes on here, not listing any of the DMR or other digital modes to get in. So I will get that information from you and make sure that it gets updated on our webpage here. You have a wonderful day, Patrick, and thanks for checking in. N2DYI, AI6US 73.
I did give that information to Smitty, but I'm not sure what happened to it after that. But all right, sounds good. 7-3 N2DYI.
Okay, I will reach out to him and make sure it is updated because, yeah, that's an important path. So thank you. I appreciate you making sure that it was handed over. It looks like the ball got dropped on our side, so we'll take care of that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Clear with N2DYI. Let's check in now with Daniel, N9MUF, who didn't check in for a quick in and out at the beginning of the net, so that must mean no POTA today?
No, we do have a POTA on tap. Just the timing will work out with getting everything packed up, so I'm able to do a bit more of a reg 2 this morning.
All righty. Yeah, I was kind of getting used to on POTA days. You were just quick in and out as you got ready to activate. Well, a new park today, or what are you gonna? What's your plans for your POTA activation today?
Well, the current plan that I've got, and of course, as any plan, be prepared for it to go places we won't mention on the net. But current plan is to try and get out and get in on the MST CW event. That worked really well last time on the last activation, and I'd like to repeat it. We're also going to, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I finally joined the Bioenno family. So we'll have 15 watts of power rather than 5, and that should help pulling in some of the contacts.
Oh, with CW and digital, you don't need power. Unless you want to talk to people. Very cool. 15 watts. Can't bark out QRP anymore.
There's times where it's fun, but when you're trying to break pile-ups during an event, you kind of want the additional power.
Yeah, that's why I buy the high-power radio and then just trust the RF knob on it to dial it back to whatever I want the conditions to be. I do the same thing with my amplifier. Well, Daniel, I hope you had a great weekend. What do you have for the net this morning?
Well, I I appreciate Patrick's update on ASL. I'll probably get around to updating mine tomorrow morning. Like you, I don't want to do it on a net or where I've got something planned, since people will be using my node at 7 p.m. tonight. Oh, and I need to mention Yacht, or get the idea of Yacht to Maxim. It's a group of amateur radio operators, a young amateur ham communications team, and they meet every night on the Yacht conference server and also on AllStar and XLX. So DMR, D-Star, TGIF, all of that is available for their nightly net, and they have a net every night at 7 p.m. Central.
Okay, yeah, we'll need to figure out a way to get him into a node, because I think he just is running off of HTs right now. So yeah, we'll have to figure out a way on this side to, most of us have a MMDVM laying around, but of course that makes, it'd be kind of nice to get him into something else, but we'll figure out a way.
And, there's always Echolink as well, and if he's got a cell phone, he could get in that way as well.
Yeah, I think my brain took a vacation. Of course, AllStar or Echolink on a phone or a smart device, absolutely. Very good. Yeah, I've heard of that your group quite often, and how much activity is on there?
The node tends to be rather quiet during the day, but boy, that net is amazing, especially the Saturday night net. And quite often we've got the Young Amateur of the Year is associated with Yacht. I believe there was a comment earlier, so I'll pass it back to you, Brian, for the comment.
Yeah, I see W6EK keyed up. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning, Brian and everybody. I heard you say something that resembled gee, if we had an MMDVM available, someone could use it. Is that true?
I think my brain, my mouth spoke before my brain thought it out. I know he doesn't have any digital radios yet, so yeah, it probably would be best that it's an open spot, but I think we have a couple of open spots around as well.
Gotcha. Well, if you're in need, look me up because I've got one in a bag.
Very good. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate that offer. We'll figure out a way to get these guys active on that youth group. Yeah, we have Sam and we also have Max. So we have a couple of new club members this year that are youthful. Much more youthful than any of us talking right now. Back over to you, Daniel.
Oh, I understand that. And it's also good to remember that the net is not limited to people under 18. It's quite active with adults as well, and definitely a vivacious group of people, and the Saturday night net is a joy. I'm not able to get in as much because of some of the studio time, and but it is a joy to hear these young hams excited about the hobby and really getting into the net any way that they can.
No, absolutely, and it's something that very obviously around here, there have been younger hams hanging around, and you just think of the majority of the conversations that happen on repeaters. They actually have to be a pretty old soul to relate to some of the conversations that are going on. So, having something like this available for peer conversations, very important.
And knowing that the entire ecosystem that I've set up is really for them to use anytime they want. It's not just use it during the net and then don't get on at any other time. If they want to, if they make a friend and they want to have a ride chew at some point, they're free to do it.
I remember it was probably, I don't know, refresh my memory when this was set up, but I recall somewhere around 2 or 3 years ago, there was a young man that checked in here on the Coffee Break Net a couple of times, and he was very much promoting the yachts group, and he really enjoyed the camaraderie and the experience over there.
I'm not sure exactly when it got started. I think I've been involved about 8 years. I stumbled across it while looking for youth resources to help encourage my son with his license. And they were meeting on a repeater up in Menominee, Wisconsin. And I said, look, would you like to have an Echolink conference server instead? And they were all excited about it. So I set up the Echolink conference server, and I've been hosting that for quite a while. And then last year, expanded it out to AllStar, thanks to the encouragement of this notice, and then the XLX infrastructure and TGIF. So it would be a complete ecosystem that the kids didn't feel like it was just limited to Echolink, and they could get on. They had multiple avenues of approach, so to speak.
Absolutely. You know, it's getting into the hobby. It's, you know, part of it is, you know, what are your friends operating when you pick your mode of operation? Of course, the commonality for most radios is FM mode for VHF and UHF, but, you know, beyond that, you know, it's kind of difficult to pick out which digital mode. Well, it's the one most of us have figured out, the one that our friends use. But if you're new to the hobby, that's part of that process. But hey, thank you for setting that stuff up. I knew you were involved with it, but I didn't know to what extent.
Yep, the entire hosting infrastructure is on my end. I've got it set up in the data center in my basement. And the Echolink conference server has run for the last year on a Raspberry Pi 2, 2B, and it's been absolutely solid.
Just goes to show you, you don't need to be a 3, 4, or 5 to be useful in life. Very cool. Well, thanks for that. And yeah, I know that these resources, you know, get them involved and get them engaged with some peer contacts and friendships, and you know, it's very important to have that. And you know, we're looking at ways of getting our GOTA station even more active. We put a lot of focus on the GOTA station, Get on the Air for Youth, at our field day, and so I know this year we're really working hard on making sure that has the right vibe to it, and get it to be a very inviting atmosphere, and get people engaged and get the kids talking.
And I think, you know, if you give them a path, they'll find a way, but they've got to make sure that they're free to find their own path, I think, and that you're not just doing well, this is the way I did amateur radio growing up, so you need to learn Spark CW as well.
Oh, and by the way, get off my lawn!
And I think that approach turns a lot of kids away from the hobby because they get a little bit too much of the one true way, and especially with Echolink. I know a lot of hams make a point of putting Echolink down, and I think that chases kids away who are going, well, my mom isn't ready to buy me an AT, but I've got a cell phone. Why can't I use that? Well, you can't because it's Echolink.
Yeah. I know some hams hate the word sad ham, but I use it because I'm not one. They're out there. They fight for the same breath of air, the same oxygen molecule you and I are going for. Don't know why the hobby's dying, but dang, the nerve of you using Echolink.
Yep, and oftentimes, you know, when you're talking to parents about it, you know, their first question is, well, how much is this going to cost me? And I try and point out that there's a way to get kids on the air that doesn't have a high initial cost. And if they stick with it, then maybe they can talk about an HT or a more advanced rig. But, you know, showing parents that it's affordable and a way to give the kids an opportunity without buying a $1,000 HF rig often gives them what they need to support their children.
The great thing in our community here, anytime that a youth has gotten involved with radio, I know we have a lot of people in our community, in our club especially, that that are very generous when it comes to pulling something out that works, that is just something that and then it comes along with a little instruction, a little bit of help. But a good working radio typically is always put in the hands of a youth operator. And you're right. Let them find their own path, and it's not the way that I was taught, and the only way. Well, good morning to you there, Daniel, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful POTA activation. And by the way, if you hear an explosion and flames and screams, I accidentally hit update while I was navigating around my ASL3 GUI page, so I just decided to let it continue. So if you hear things bursting, burning, and you see my node disappear offline, you'll know things didn't go well.
I understand that fear before hitting the update button. If it goes wrong, do I have time to fix it before it's necessary? Saturday mornings are a great time for me because if I've got to do a lot of system updates, that's often when I try and do it. And since the net takes a break on Sunday, the yacht net does, I may wind up doing some of my updates then, pushing it off and doing it in a safer atmosphere when I don't have a deadline looming over my head. So, good POTA weather, cloudy, 80 degrees, should be nice, and we'll just enjoy what happens. And I'll enjoy having a little more power, and also longer operating time as well. I should have about 4 hours of battery, and so that'll be good regardless. So 7-3 to you in the net, Brian. Always a pleasure. N9MUF. Oh, and Maxim, let him know that I'm good on QRZ if he wants to reach out to me via email for more advice on how to get into the yachtnet. So 7-3 to you, Brian, N9MUF.
Very good. We will definitely pass that information on. I appreciate that. Yeah, Maxim was at our club meeting on Friday evening, and we celebrated. Not too often do you have a 10-year-old getting their license, but that is very awesome when you see somebody that young step up and go for their license, and the joy that he had. It was great to share with him. You have a great day. Thanks for everything, my friend, in 9MUF AI6US. And good morning, Greg, KO6TH.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, everyone. Greg, KO6TH. Lovely day. Wow, this weather. Checked the rain gauge yesterday afternoon in between downbursts, and it had collected over 3 inches of rain in the previous 24 hours. I'm not sure what happened. I haven't checked it this morning yet. Looks like we had, almost 7 inches so far this month. It's good Lord. Anyway, today is drop the taxes off at the post office and file the ones I can electronically. Commit to sending them off. I think they're close enough. And get back to editing videos and what else? Working on stuff for the sailboat. So it's going to be a busy day. Question for you. You do a lot of stuff at the post office. This time of year, is it better to go in the morning, mid-morning, or after lunch? I'm thinking everybody spent the weekend getting their taxes ready. Which is going to be better for the lines out the door? KO6TH.
Oh, I can't speak for Auburn, but definitely out here in Meta Vista, If you're too close to lunchtime, everybody's trying to get there, during their lunchtime or right after lunch before they return to work. So I usually find the busiest time of the day for our post office here in Meta Vista is like 11:30 to 12, and then 1 to 1:30. Outside of that, it's the worst time of year here is Christmas gifts coming or going. But other than that, I've gone down to Auburn post office frequently when I've been down on business, and it seems like down there's a line no matter what time of the day it is. So not much help for you, I suppose.
No, it's all data. I went stopped off and pick up some of those the certified mail tag things that instead of trying to fill it out there in line, all said before I go. And basically, it was just empty. This was middle of last week. I forget what time of day it was, but it was like before lunch. So anyway, there was something else you were talking about this morning that I was going to comment on. I forget what it was now, but I don't remember now. Anyway, should be a busy day. Good week. Got astronomy on tap on Wednesday, followed by the Elmernet. So dashing between Grass Valley and here to get on the radio, and then what else is happening? Something's happening this Friday. Oh, we're supposed to have a star party, but it looks like it's going to be cloudy again. Yay, weather. KO6TH, back to net.
Kind of envious of a club that gets together and lifts a pint and talks hobby. I was really surprised that didn't catch on with our group. Hams on tap. It just seemed like a great idea, but and we had okay turnout for the first time, but it never happened again. It was quite a bit of fun, actually. Greg, you have a wonderful week ahead. Yeah, got over 3 inches over the weekend, about the same as you, but we definitely don't have the monthly total that you're reporting. So yeah, here you must have been in a little different weather system on your side of the ridges there. KO6TH, AI6US, happy Monday.
Yeah, weather's always local. 6.9 is what the AccuRite, such as the name, weather gauge says for the month. I don't usually trust it, but that's what it claims. So anyway, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, on with the day. I'll think of what it was later on, and finished Hail Mary, the book. Great book. If anybody hasn't read it yet, that was an accomplishment over the weekend. KO6TH 73. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Yeah, looking forward to maybe catching the movie when it comes out for viewing at home. Have a great day, Greg. Clear with KO6TH, and good morning, Maurice. W6STW.
I've been hibernating up here at Pollock Pines for the last few days because of the rain. I've also been window shopping on the internet for my first HF transceiver. And as for youth, I was 21 years old 41 years ago. And last but not least, I had to head into town and stock up on groceries. Back to you.
Heavy rain in Pollock Pines. Why does that not surprise me? Yeah, the Foothills definitely got the rain clouds stacked up against it, and I know you got hit by the lightning and thunder. I don't think ever since we've lived up here have we had it this many days, 4 days back to back, lightning and thunder. It was crazy. What radio are you looking at, or are there several that you're considering?
First of all, as for the heavy rain, at least I was able to do a leak check on my RV van and no leaks. And as for the radio, I want to get a Yaesu ATAS-120 antenna because of my mobile situation, which means I'll probably be looking at a FT-710 or an FTX DX10. But I've also been looking at an ICOM RC7300 MK2 because somebody makes an interface for the Yaesu mobile antenna.
You have all three fine radios, for my opinion. I had the previous version, 7300, before they came out with the Mark II, and I know the menus are the same on the Mark II, and I got to say, the ICOMs definitely have the interface going on for them. I think it's a much more friendly radio, but as far as noise mitigation and that sort of thing, I have the FTDX10 now, and absolutely love that radio. And I loaned it out to one of our club members, and he did a side-by-side comparison between the DX10 and the 710, and he said, hands down, the DX10 did noise mitigation much better, and he just liked the sound of the DX10, and just side-by-side, he chose the DX10. So anyway, I saw a YouTube video in the past week here that just recently had come out where a ham radio operator did a side-by-side of the Mark II and the FTDX10, and his takeaway was both are great radios, and each one is set up for user's choice of their mode of operation. So I thought it was very, very equal, balanced review of both radios, and it came down to it. Hey, what is your operating style?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of research online, looking at YouTube videos, going to that Sherwood website on receiver sensitivity. So it might be a few more months before I drop a lot of money on a transceiver. Back to you.
Yeah, there's a lot of great tools out there, and for me, it really kind of comes down to what my ear likes. And my ear definitely has a preference between those radios to the ICOM, but because I use the radio a lot in multi-station settings, at different portable events, I went for my portable radio to be the DX10 because of the better filtering on it. So I really agree with a lot of people all three radios are great. No doubt about it. It's going to be a hard choice for you.
Well, luckily I still have good hearing all around, but I'm still leaning towards the Yaesu. But then again, the Yaesus don't have a second output for a receiving antenna, but there's extra hardware you can buy for that.
Yep, but I'm sure, living in the RV, you want to keep your footprint probably as minimal as possible. But, it sounds like you have a lot of things to consider, but I think it will be great having that ATES. Well, anything else for the net? You weathered the storm, and now it looks like we have a couple of days of beautiful weather ahead.
No, I'm checking in my retirement, trying to stay busy somehow, and that's about it. One more thing. I have to keep my squelch on, or should I say, turned off for the W6EK repeater for some reason, but not other repeaters.
Even this morning?
Just this morning, I had to keep my squelch off for some reason, but not other repeaters.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, we've been having an intermittent problem, and we worked on it over the weekend, and we've replaced all the gear, so do apologize for that. Yeah, right now, turn the CT, CSS, or the PL tone off on receive, and it's something we're aware of, and it's been intermittent, so sorry about that.
No problem. I have a background in repairing Army radios, Air Force, airborne radar, and medical equipment. So in other words, I know very little about a whole lot.
We do all get compartmentalized in our life, that is for sure. Maurice, you have a wonderful day. Thanks for checking in, and thanks for pointing that out. It is an issue that we've been aware of in the past. We thought, once again, we thought we maybe addressed it over the weekend, but I guess not. Another trip. W6STW, AI6US73.
W6STW back to the net 73.
Good morning, Chris. KI6HFP. Happy Monday.
Oh, good morning, Brian. How are you doing this morning? It was a pleasure to meet you in person for the first time. We've chatted on and off over the last few years, and it was a pleasure to shake your hand and put a face to the name, or the voice, I should say.
Yeah, it was great meeting you and your dad, and definitely, I hope you got everything straightened out there on membership. I knew you were talking to the right folks, the membership folks. But yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you, and I hope you had a great evening, a pretty decent turnout. And I don't know if you got any items to take home off of the Touch It Take It table.
Oh yeah, it was an absolute blast. Had a great time. And I got some connectors and stuff like that. Grabbed a few crimp connectors and left the rest for everybody else. And then at the end of the evening, when they're like, if anybody wants anything else, feel free, or it's going to go bye-bye. So I snagged a few more things at the end of it. And I got everything with the membership taken care of, getting my dad squared away, and just waiting for the email to tell me that I'm officially a member. And chasing some DX this morning on some FT8, doing the net, and then I need to get my lazy butt down to the boat at Folsom and get it cleaned up. Got someone coming to take a look at it tomorrow or Wednesday.
Oh, I didn't realize you were selling a boat as well. I knew about the one you were working on down in the bays. So I know this isn't a for sale net for sailboat or for boats, but what do you have for sale at Folsom?
It's a 1978 Cal 225. Absolutely love that boat. Wish I didn't have to sell it, but she's just sitting on the hard, and she needs someone else to love her. It's actually the rare model that doesn't have the inboard. It has the outboard attachment, which is super nice for a lake boat, or even a bay boat, because you got that pretty much the entire rear cockpit where you would normally have the engine and like a little bit of room for some sails and stuff like that. It's just completely open, so it has a lot of potential. But the Catalina down in the bay is just taking up all my time.
Yeah, the outboard engine on this size of boat, very, very nice to have, absolutely, for a lake boat. Yeah, in fact, it was probably right around around 20, I won't even say how long ago, but when the Folsom Lake went down many years ago, I drove down, I was living in Oregon at the time, drove down from the Portland area and picked up a Clipper Marine 21 that was sitting on the hard out there at Folsom, and became a fun boat for me because of the retractable keel for the Columbia River, and really sailed the sails off of that one for many years. So yeah, it's kind of sad. Folsom Lake, it wasn't really built to be a recreation lake, but it certainly serves the purpose well when it's full.
Oh, absolutely. The wind out there is amazing. It's a great place to cut your teeth on. And before I forget, I'm not sure the protocol on this, but I believe my dad woke up late, and I think he's monitoring now, so he might want to check in. I'm not sure if you're going to be calling for any more check-ins. But, yeah, it's funny you say the Clipper. That is the very first boat I ever set foot on, well, I guess car seat on. I was too young to stand at that point, so I was in the car seat on that boat when my dad was sailing, and he loved that boat.
It was a great boat for the Columbia just because of the retractable keel, and you would have sandbars that would just instantly form in part of the river that you had to kind of shallow out a little bit, and it was just it handled very well, and I got very good sailing on the Columbia River. You found out who your true friends were because they were you had a lot of movement around on the deck when you're on a 4 or 5 knot, 6 knot current and sailing a narrower river. But it was fun. I came out of Florida where I'd lived aboard an Irwin Islander down there, and then came up to Oregon and still had sailing in my blood, and just had to get that, and the Clipper filled the bill for a number of years. Yeah, I'll be taking another round, probably another 1 or 2 rounds of check-in, so we'll get George in on that one. But absolutely a pleasure to see you at the club meeting, and I hope to see you at future events. We are a social club with ham radio problem.
My kind of club. Awesome. Well, I will send it back to you and let you get back down and start working your way down the list. KI6HFP, back to net.
All right, good luck selling your Cal 25, 1978. That is a nice lake boat. Not too big and manageable, and yeah, good luck on that. KI6HFP, AI6US. Hey, good morning, Joe. KI1JXY. Uh-oh, KA1JXY, did we time you out? Life getting in the way of amateur radio. I hate when that happens. Good morning, Mark, WB6BJN. It took so long to get back to you. Maybe the whole weather forecast has changed. Happy Monday. Good morning.
Hey, my life doesn't get in the way of ham radio because you know what? Ham radio is a big part of my life. Oh, not all of it. Certainly I have things that I have to do, and but hey, I got my priorities straight, man. We're here. Hope you're doing well there, Brian. Doing good here in the great metropolis of Clarksville, Tennessee. And I don't think the sun's quite out. We had some showers this morning. See what the Nope. It's still cloudy, but it's gotten a little brighter. So that's the deal here. And let me tell you something. The storm did everything that I thought it would do. I said it was a major storm, and it was. And it started Thursday night because my buddy Randy called me KF6RJS, and he had lightning and thunder Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights, and then I think he had a couple of lightning strikes even yesterday. He had 98/100ths of an inch of rain for that far south in Modesto. That's almost an inch of rain there. And he said it was unbelievable that they had some marble-sized hail, and I saw some, because I have Storm Shield that comes up on my weather thing, and there was a severe thunderstorm warning that came up for Modesto. So there was rotation in some of these thunderstorms that didn't lead to any tornadoes, but the conditions were there. Brian, so back to you, sir, and we'll talk a little more about it here. WB6BJF.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. It was definitely pretty darn amazing. The weather that swept through, and Lynn and I were commenting to each other that I don't think we've ever seen 4 days back to back of lightning and thunder, and some of those that came through. I don't know if you heard me mention earlier, but I swear I heard the boom before I saw the flash. It was a wild event, and so wild that I think we have 5-inch gutters, and it would not handle the load from the smaller roof even. It was wonderful, and we got some snow up in the hills.
Yes, sir. That was predicted. And yeah, technically though, unless it's a flash within flashes, and sometimes you can see that. You can see flashes, you can hear thunder, and then see flashes are one that you may have missed, and if they're close enough, that almost seems like that happens. But no, you got to have a flash to make it go boom. We saw some back here. There were three flashes in one within a stroke, so they're like strokes within strokes, and boy, that can make a racket. That's for sure. Let's see. There was something else I was gonna. Oh yeah, you know this thing about what's real ham radio and what's not. You know, and Daniel in Illinois brought up a good point. It's a great way, to know that you can, pick up a phone, and there's some of this stuff you can get into and you get your kids into, and hey, you know what? You don't have to spend a lot to get into ham radio. And on the other end of that spectrum, there are people such as elderly folks, and I've said this before, who live in situations like nursing facilities or care facilities that don't allow you to put up antennas, and so therefore they'd like to do ham radio and talk to other hams, and so if they have a node or a way that they can connect to the internet and do it that way, or via their phone or Echolink, it's there, and and the only way you can use it is you have to have a ham ticket. So I don't buy it that it's not real. It's a real part of ham radio. That's the way I look at it. It's a real part of ham radio, and it really gets people active in the hobby. So that's what I have always said about that. Back to you there, Brian, and then we'll talk about the weather.
No, I agree with you 100%. I think so many people. It's kind of interesting. A few club members who have aged out of having their own shack or living at their own home were so anti AllStar and Echolink. I remember vividly them, talking about, real ham radio, da 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 da. Well, when it ended up that they were living in a home, a care facility or something, that became their lifeline to their friends on amateur radio. And never heard them review their previous comments about how real the ham radio was for them using AllStar or Echolink or a remote into a somebody else's shack radio. So yeah. I think it's easy to make a stand on a hill that you don't need to defend. Back over to you there, Mark. I'll tell you, this morning it was absolutely stunning when the sun came out to see the steam coming off of all of the trees as the sun hit it. Just absolutely beautiful morning.
Comment.
Okay, we have a comment. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead, comment.
Good morning, Brian and Mark. And Brian, as far as I'm concerned, people that say stuff like that, I'm half joking, half serious. They don't deserve the ability to do so afterwards. No, they completely deserve it. They just need to remap their minds. Go ahead, Mark. Good morning.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100% because you never know where you're going to end up, you know, and you may be in that very position where you're a ham, and if you get sick and you lose the ability to be in your own home to do that, then and you still want to participate, there you go, because we don't know what happens from day to day. Anyway, so much for that. Brian, yes, and the storm is over. Now, for Brett, I was listening to Brett earlier. I'm not quite yet, Brett, ready to buy off into this is real summer coming next, because I think we have another low-pressure area down the road that could bring more rain maybe next week. And now I don't think it's going to be as major as the one that we had is over the weekend. However, this is still April, and even into May. I won't buy into summer until I see what we call the retrograde high, that high-pressure area that develops over the desert southwest all the way to Bermuda and retrogrades westward toward California and brings hot temperatures. Then I will say summer is here. But I have not seen that yet. I have not seen that retrograde high that I talk about every year. And so I really don't think we're going to experience summer just yet. Shorter term, let me take a break. We are in California going to go under a quieter pattern. Now it's our turn here to get more active because all of that stuff that's come through California is coming all the way east, and it's been doing that a little bit already for a lot of people in the Midwest. But California is going to get some high pressure, not real strong high pressure, not real hot temperatures, 70s and 60s in the Sierras and Foothills, 40s and 50s at some of the higher elevations, and lows in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Pretty much normal April weather here for the next week when under fair skies, some clouds at times. There is a low pressure area that's going to come through over the weekend that's kind of an inside slider. It stays to the east. So don't think it's going to bring, it'll bring little, if any, rain to the valley, maybe some clouds, some north winds, which are drying. There is another one at the middle of the week that's going to stay kind of to the north. It might give some showers to the Sierras, the northern Sierras and the northern mountains. But for the most part, it's going to be pretty nice. Where it is cloudy now, it's going to clear up this afternoon. And some of the higher peaks of the Sierras might get some convective showers today, some snow showers. That's going to be about it. All the winter storm warnings and things are over. So weather's going to actually be pretty nice, pretty mild all week. Back over there to you, Brian. And there could be, like I think I mentioned, another low pressure that could bring some showers again next week, but that's out of our forecast period right now. But we'll keep you posted on that. Back to you, sir, and then we'll talk about the rest of the nation.
Well, you might as well talk about the rest of the nation because I know Midwest headed east Gonna have some events.
Yes, sir. And now we are being protected here in Tennessee by a large high pressure. If you were to look at the weather map right now, you would see this high pressure area that extends east and south, so that it covers a lot of the deep south, the Carolinas, Florida, all the way out into the eastern seaboard. And we are under that, okay, right now, and that's a good news, bad news thing. It's the good news in that we're not getting the severe weather that they're getting in the Midwest. The bad news is that we are very, very, very dry. All the way from, southern parts of Ohio, all the way south in parts of Kentucky, even Texas, where they've had some rain the last few days. The soil is so hard pan that even if they were to get downpours, it all runs off and it causes flash flooding. Let me take a break. And then you go to the Midwest, further north, and they have just been inundated with rain. Illinois, Wisconsin, even Chicago could get some more. We're around where Daniel is. There's thunderstorms there. There are going to be some thunderstorms here. They're talking about them today. We've had 0.03 of an inch of rain. It's in the 70s right now. But tomorrow it's going to warm up, and we could be close to 90. And that's what Patrick was talking about earlier, is they're just under this very extreme hot, high-pressure area. It's part of the Bermuda High, and you usually don't see that until July. And that's just exactly what this is. It's like a midsummer pattern. And so records are going to get broken. We're kind of going through like what you guys went through a couple of weeks ago. And, it's crazy. And in the Midwest is getting tornadoes. Now, they say there's a cold front that's going to come through here about Saturday night and Sunday. Might get some showers and thunderstorms on Sunday or Saturday night and Sunday, and then it's going to drop into the 40s. Then they're talking some places, if you get enough cold air, like in the Midwest, they might even get some frost. So it's going to go from real warm to cold. So, and it can do that this time of the year. That's what causes the severe weather. The battle of the air masses. The cold air trying to push back in, and the warm air is saying, hey, it wants to be summer. It wants to be spring and summer, and we're going to have a battle. And the warm air is eventually going to win. So it's going to win. But we got to put up with some severe weather, even some dangerous situations in that while the climate situation is trying to equalize itself. And my final thing, Brian, before I turn it back to you, the big news right now in climatology and the climate situation is the super El Nino that's coming. And the super El Nino, it's strong. And that's what it means. It's strong and it's widespread, and it's going to move. It's going to take place in the eastern Pacific this year. And this may be the drought breaker that we're waiting for in much of the nation. And it might bring California some good rain. Unfortunately, it's good for the Atlantic, because when you have a strong El Nino, hurricane season is at a minimum. But there's going to be a lot of places in the world where there are going to be extreme droughts and extreme floods, and Southern California may have to be very careful, because it can be good news, bad news, even with El Nino situations that can affect stuff all over the world. Back to you, sir. WB6BJ.
Last week I Googled the effect on Super El Nino on Northern California and talk about a perfect 50-50. Well, it could mean increased or it could mean no change. I think it's more predictable as we go south and, like you said, the Atlantic. But Northern California, they just, they were placing bets on red and black. WB6BJN, good morning to you. Good morning to Sarah. And you have a wonderful Monday.
Thank you, sir, and you're correct. Yeah, I looked at that too, and Northern California is in that maybe not. It could be a banner year, or it could be, just a normal, year. I think you're going to get more rain. I believe you'll get more rain. That you're close enough, and hopefully you'll get some good snow too. I really believe you'll be on the better end of it. I want to believe that because we were in a weak La Nina this year, and a lot of places weren't that far off from normal. So I'm pulling for extra rain, even for Northern California. Talk to you later, and from Sarah and I, everybody have a blessed day. And we'll talk to everybody later. Take care, Brian. And we'll see y'all later. WB6BJ.
All right, Mark, you have a great day ahead. WB6BJN AI6US. This is the Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater and connected repeaters and nodes. And let's go ahead and see who is out there this morning. Let's maybe do a round of quick in and outs as you start your day. Taking check-ins, Coffee Break Net.
November, origin, in and out.
Kilo Charlie 6, DRZ Echo.
Sarah, Mike 6, X-ray, Golf, Papa, 4, in and out.
Kilo November, Uniform, Foxtrot.
All right. Copied a few people in there. That was a mess. K4LGI, good morning, Sam. And good morning, Joshua, KN6NUF. Good morning, Tony, for a in and out, the only in and out that I copied in this batch. I guess everybody's in and out. SM6XGP, good morning to you, Tony. Good afternoon. And KC6SLE, good morning to Graydon. KG6 in LW. Good morning to you there, Frank. And then before that, it was a pile-up mess. Who did I miss?
Norway 6 Yankee, Germany.
Only one station was causing all that. I don't think. I got November 6th, Yankee, Germany. Good morning there, George. And who did I miss?
Orion, this is KM670M. I'll throw my hat in. Good morning.
All right, good morning, Brian, KM6MDM. Quite a bit of interference on your signal there. Not sure what's going on. But we'll be back to you in a moment. All right, these are all quick in and out, so let's head on to the top of the list, KG6NLW. Good morning, Frank.
Oh, good morning, Brian and Matt. Gee, I'm number one in this round. That's amazing. Not much going on. Just getting done with the W word of the day. You know, that nasty four-letter word that nobody likes but everybody has to do. And Gonna head towards home and see what the day brings me, because usually I work day shift, but I worked last night, so I can't work day shift now. I love it. Other than that, not much else going on. For those that may be new here or don't know, if you missed the Coffee Break Net any morning of the week, feel free to check it out on YouTube. Anyway, back to you, Brian. You have a great morning, and hope everyone fared the weather as fairly as could.
I understood that while you rode a train, you missed seeing Big Boy, though I imagine you've crossed paths or tracks with it before. But, yeah, it was unfortunate that they weren't able to take another path out of the valley. But, another trip up the Feather River Canyon was probably quite a treat for the people aboard.
Oh, I have my $2.5 million view, because it's not 2.5 cent view, on that one. They easily could have done something, but I'm not going to say who I don't like on the steam crew, but there's someone on the steam crew that doesn't get along with me, and I don't get along with them, and I still wish it was Steve working the steam crew. I think that sort of narrows it down. If you know, you know. Anyway, Brian, I'll let you have it with the rest of the crew. AI6US, KT6, and I'll tell you, good morning.
I would have paid $1 million to see them go over the pass, Donner, and have that snow blower, that big old whirly blade in front of them. That would have been the shot. That would have been so awesome. Oh, well. KG6NLW AI6US. Good morning, Graydon. KC6SLE.
Good morning, Brian. Yeah, we were planning to head over to Colfax and see Big Boy. It just didn't work out. Fortunately, I caught it on the internet before we left, so didn't make a trip over there. It would have been fun to go to Colfax anyway. Probably to have breakfast at TJ's or TR's. Eaten there before. It's pretty good. That's the Roadhouse there.
You must be getting a distance away from your node. You're getting a little breaking in and out of your node there. Well, yeah, we had found out on, I think it was the day before. So I think on Saturday we found out that they weren't going to be rolling through. And the tracks, of course, are no more than, maybe a half a mile from my house here. So we were going to head over and watch them go through the split there. Like I said, a half a mile away from us is split tracks, and a wonderful place to view the trains coming through the splits there. Anyway, what are you working on today, Graydon?
Well, you were right. I was a distance away from the node, and I had the house in between me and the node upstairs, so quite a few walls. Got the flamethrower out. With as wet as everything is, I thought it'd be a good time to go through and burn some weeds rather than weed whack them, which is always a pain. So that's what I'm doing this morning. Yesterday, I went ahead in between raindrops. I pulled one of my Battleborns out of the RV, have it on the workbench, gave it a full test. Probably going to pull the other two out and put a different battery in. There's a lot of controversy going on right now with the build quality inside some of the Battleborns, which is really disappointing because they're a premium battery. But with all the things I've been reading on the internet and all that, they do have a bus issue. They do have a connection issue problem. My batteries look perfect. They test perfect. But I'm not going to take that chance.
Yeah, very unfortunate. And then, you just question if there's a problem, just own up to it and move forward. But it's obviously not in their game plan. And to go up against Will Prowse on his battery teardowns, and I've watched enough of these to know that he's taken the can opener to many of these batteries, and this is not just an isolated problem. So it's interesting, though, that the Battleborn, it looks like they're just going to ride it out and probably never never admit that they were wrong and probably disappear.
I am disappointed. You know, I've always had, in fairness to them, I've always had good conversations with them, good help from them, but they are not standing up on this issue, and I agree with you. I think this issue will probably end up crushing them as a company, which is unfortunate because they're local, they're a U.S. company. But in the meantime, I'm discharging the one on the bench right now, and I'm going to cut the top off of it later this afternoon, and I will report out what I find inside, and then I'm going to 90% of the battery is still good, the BMS, the batteries themselves. I'm going to repackage it in an aluminum housing, and I already researched a inexpensive aluminum housing I can put it in, and I'm going to build my own bus bar. So it's not going to be a total loss, but I am discharging and putting it to sleep before I cut it open, because that does make me nervous.
Well, definitely have a camera rolling. It'd be kind of interesting to kind of just reveal what you find on yours. And yeah, I think everybody agrees that the cells are great, and it's just that who would put a nylon bar in between for the terminals. It looks like it could be easy refit, but the problem is these batteries are not not everybody's going to be opening them up with a vibra cutter or something. It would be a nightmare to address it would just have to be a recall. So I just look at the position they're in, and maybe owning up to the problem will maybe increase their liability versus just not owning up to anything and just disappearing. It's certainly disappointing. And they continue to use that same build is the crazy thing. Graydon, happy Monday to you. Good morning to Grady. Good morning to Lisa. And don't throw your friend there in the chipper, eh?
I definitely will not. And I would put out a warning to people: don't take cutting one of these batteries open lightly. There is so much energy potential in there, and ways for that to go wrong. I'm not recommending to people that do it. I can do it. I know how to do it and do it safely, but I'm going to take all the precautions. Don't get me wrong. Don't run out there with your hacksaw blade and start cutting these things apart. But if I can repackage it, that'll be good for the people that are comfortable doing that. It's interesting. I'll have to talk to you at another time when it's not a short in and out about what I selected to replace them. With that, everyone have a great day. KC6 SLE.
Well, I'm very interested in what you chose to replace it with, because as you know, I just bought a 312 amp hour Eco-worthy for the vault, and that's Doug got that finished and installed a couple weeks ago, working great. And I was thinking about ordering one for myself at the time. I am LifePo4 rich, but the Eco-worthy looks like a good system to be, because they have the internal compression as well as some incredible maintenance, and BMS is rated very high. So yeah, I am very curious to know what you went with. KC6 SLE AI6US. Happy Monday.
Well, you kind of took the suspense out of it. Eco-worthy is exactly what I came to the conclusion is the best buy out there right now. And I went with the 280 amp hour metal case battery they have. The nice thing about the metal case is you can take it apart, look inside, check everything periodically. It's much more suited to the RV as far as space requirements. So that's exactly what I selected, and they're getting good reviews. With that, KC6 SLE.
Yep, and as you know, that's what I've purchased as well for myself, a metal cased, encased battery, and kind of for the same reason. When I first took delivery of it by Time USB, I was having a little trouble with it. One of the connectors came off in shipping, and I was able to pop that thing open and identify the wire that had come loose, got it connected back up, and happier than heck with it. So yeah, metal case adds a little bit of weight, but my gosh, it's compressed inside with a metal case, and then it has a metal enclosure with removable screws. Have a great day, Graydon. Thanks for checking in this morning. 7-3.
7-3, KC6 SLE.
Good morning, or good evening, Tony, SM6XGP. Good to hear you in. What do you have for the net today?
Yeah, good morning, Brian and Annette. Coming to you from a radio for a change. I'm almost using my radio list notes over here, but I finally got my antennas out after the storm last weekend, and trying out my radios and see if they work, and they still do. And also creating some dinner over here. And finally, I got the digger rig arrived 1 month later, and it's crazy about this shipping nowadays. I have ordered so many things from the U.S. earlier, and it arrived in 1 or 2 weeks, but this thing takes a month. Stupid things. But we hope it works. Try to hook it up to my old Kenwood radio and see if it works. I hope so. And I can use some FT8 or 3DV or whatever I want to do with this old Kenwood radio. It's a TS2000, so it can use VHF and UHF, and that's what I'm using over here at the moment. So, and the weather over here is gray. Yeah, what weather should we have in Gothenburg? Yeah, we should have gray weather. Around 10 degrees Celsius, so yeah, it's definitely springtime, so maybe this warm weather Mark was talking about is coming its way over here. I hope so. So, that's a little report from Gothenburg, Sweden. Back to you, Brian.
Well, I've heard people that really love the digirigs, and then other people who have fought Mortal Kombat with them. And I know that the people that love them far outweigh the other folks that have fought them. So I wish you well in your integration with the digirig. And yeah, logistics worldwide, it's just broken right now, absolutely broken. I ship, I would say over 50% of my sales are international shipments, and what works best right now is Amazon. Anything else going through standard logistics, it is a nightmare, and people are getting hit with charges and refusing packages. It's just a crazy time for logistics. So, yeah. I'm glad you got your package, though, and let us know how it integrates. Enjoy your dinner, my friend. SM6XGP, AI6US. Good evening.
Yeah, I hope it will work. I looked for other options, but we never had. That was that one. We didn't have any other options over here. I looked for signaling, for example, but no one has those in stock. And the only thing I found was the digger-rig that can work with this radio. I think the signaling will do also, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So I tried this and see if it works, and I hope it did. And yeah, as you heard in the background, the time is up for the net, I think. You have a couple of people to get through. So I'm off here and going back to kitchen, and wish you all a nice Monday over there. Over here it was a good Monday, so I think you will have one too. AS6US, SM6XGP, 7-3.
Yeah, indeed. Bandpass filters, one of my favorites that I have, that I use, is out of Russia. You're not getting those into the country too easily. So I have an incomplete filter set for HF right now. Have a wonderful day, Tony. SM6XGP AI6US. And good morning, Joshua, KN6NUF. Did you and the family see Big Boy coming in or leaving town?
Yeah, it's a funny story about the Big Boy coming through town. I heard it when it came through as it was coming down. I was working, so I could see the steam as it was blowing by, because I'm about a block from the tracks. So I kind of just watched it because I was stuck in a meeting.
Yeah, Joshua, you cut out, but we got that you caught it on the way down, and you got to see the steam plume.
Yeah, and then yesterday when it was coming in back up, I think it was going back up towards the Yuba City area, and I could hear it blowing as it was coming in from Sheridan and coming into Wheatland, and all the kids were asleep. And they were all in bed. They didn't wake up. They were completely oblivious to it. I opened up all the windows and doors so that the sound would radiate through the house, and they slept completely through it. It was hilarious.
I hope you caught that on video so someday you could show them, hey, look what you slept through. Oh, like you pointed out, they're teenagers. Yeah, it could be a nuclear event, and they'd probably sleep well.
Yeah, they were taking full advantage of spring break, and I let them do it. So they are like me; they're night owls, and so they will stay up until the wee dawn if they can, watching movies and things like that. So I let them get away with it a little bit, but that's part of being the fun dad at times. They worked really hard during the week and did chores even though it was spring break and they didn't want to, and so I had to reward them. We went out and got toys from the store and stuff this weekend, and so they were quite happy. What else can you do on a rainy day weekend?
Yeah, support the economy on the rainy day weekend. Well, good to have you drop by this morning, Joshua, and thanks for checking in. And I don't know if the sun has reached the valley yet, but I got to tell you, it is wonderful to see the sun after, 4.5, almost 5 days. KN6NUF, yeah, I can hear the sorrow from other people monitoring the net. Oh, like Sweden. We don't see the sun for months. KN6NUF, AI6US, have a great week ahead.
You as well, Brian. Have a wonderful day. Remember to reach out and hug those you love every chance you get, because you never know when you're going to get that chance again. Have a great day.
Thank you for that great reminder. Absolutely. KN6NUF, AI6US. Let's head over to Denver. K4LGI. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Brian. Regarding the net here from Denver. Nice and sunny. I just stepped outside here to take a look around, and about 65 degrees. Fabulous day to be hanging around on the outside and taking advantage of the weather. I saw a video there of the Big Boy going through Roseville, and there was one posted up. It seems like each year it gets a little more popular, so. And it looked like I had a few locomotives, engines pushing that thing also, and I guess reduce the wear and tear or whatever. Maybe they were taking quite a bit of load as well, so it looks like it might have been going for a free ride there part of the way, but anyway, very interesting, and of course it's more appealing apparently as time goes on here. And those kids that didn't want to get out of bed, probably next year they'll probably venture out of bed. Not too much happening here. Been grinding gears, trying to get it in gear this morning, and just almost got it back together, and so I'll cut it short here, let the other guys jump in and waiting around patiently. Have a nice day, K4LGI.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, how long it was since the last time Big Boy came through. It's probably 2 years ago. 2, maybe 3. I think it was 2 years ago. But, yeah, it's a wonderful treat, and Roseville is a good place for them to park, turn, and show off a little bit there. But wonderful to see that. I think, as they go over the pass, they probably throw those extra engines in to, because they were pulling quite a few cars, but, probably going over the passes, those extra locomotives come in handy. K4 LGI AI6US, you have a wonderful Monday, Sam, 7-3.
Info for Sam.
Yeah, go ahead with the info on the rail.
Oh, thank you, Brian. Sam, K4LGI, just for info on the diesel engines that are part of the steam crew, they are more for emergency purposes and dynamic braking. So if something happens to the air brakes on either 844, 3985, or 4014, diesel engines are able to bring the train to a safe stop because, you don't want all those stockholders, shareholders, and executives to go the way of the dodo bird, if you will, prematurely. So that's what those are mostly there for. 90% of the time, they're there for show. I have been behind 844, the baby brother to Big Boy. I've been behind 844 in a diesel engine working the dynamic controls for everything. And it's quite an interesting show. So that's all they're there for. Anyway, there you go. Back to you, Brian.
That's very interesting. So they're for dynamic braking. Yeah, I imagine the old locomotives didn't have a lot of backup systems, and you probably do not want your CEO or major stockholder meeting dodo. Good info. Thanks, Frank. Hey, let's see, clearing with Frank and Sam. Let's check in with George, N6YG. Good morning, George.
Well, good morning, and it was very nice to meet you at the club meeting. Had a great time, enjoyed the presentation. Was a lot of fun. I wanted to make a comment or address some of the comments that I actually heard here this morning. Very interesting conversation, and I kind of wanted to touch on Rob Sherwood and his receiver testing. Rob Sherwood lately has been putting a lot of effort into correcting the confusion that his receiver testing website has caused, and particularly how it's been misused by some manufacturers to misrepresent their receivers as being superior to other radios on the list. In fact, some of the manufacturers have kind of unethically manipulated their radios to score higher on the list, primarily by sacrificing things such as front-end sensitivity. Rob Sherwood has made several videos lately where he specifically tells people that not to use his list to make purchasing decisions. Radios at the top of the list are not really any better than radios 30 positions down his list. In fact, he has stated over and over again that any radio in the top 30 of that list would be more than adequate for 99.99% of ham radio operators as far as hardware is concerned. User interface is a different story, and that's what he kind of recommends. In fact, he strongly recommends that people, when they're making a purchasing decision on radios, is to primarily focus on the user interface and not some hardware testing. So as he says, the confusion stems from people assuming that the list is a ranking of receiver performance, and it's not a ranking of receiver performance. It's a list that's sorted by one parameter, and one parameter only, and that's DR3. And unless you're a CW contester with 100-foot towers and stacked monoband beams, then that's a measurement that's kind of useless for you because it has no application in single sideband at all. That's a different measurement. In fact, in one of his latest videos, Rob specifically stated that the last thing this hobby needs is 110 dB radios. Anything with more than about 85 dB of DR3 is usually more than suitable for like 99% of ham radio operators. So, I mean, the fact that Rob Sherwood's radio of choice just happens to be 3 ICOM 7610s for his contest station, it kind of it should tell you that. So, just some of the things that they do, some of these, for example, okay, the 7610 has a front-end receiver sensitivity of 0.12 microvolts. The equivalent Yaesu has a front-end receiver sensitivity of 0.3 microvolts. And you have to turn the preamp on the Yaesu to get the same front-end receiver sensitivity that you would on the ICOM. And that works real well on bands, from, maybe 20 meters down. But on bands above that, that's the point where front-end gain becomes the most underutilized tool on the front end of your receiver. If you're seeing any movement in your S meter whatsoever above 0, then your radio has more than enough front end gain, and now it's time to start cranking that front end gain in. So those are my comments on Rob Sherwood. I did want to say something on the what is real ham radio, if I have a moment for that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the Sherwood reports is just one point of data, and I subscribe completely with your view. It's all about the user experience, and it's I absolutely love my Flex radio. It's not in the top one spot, and of course the DX10 ranks above my 6600. But do I enjoy using it? No, I don't. It is all about, I think we talked earlier, one of the later videos out there is, comparing radios. They're both great. It just comes down to what the operator's needs are and what type of interface you want. Quite interesting also when the crossover from the receiver reports, accounting for different ways that SDR processes the audio, or processes the signal, and so many of the digital modes are, it's all about SNR, and the digital modes. It's very interesting, different ranking, and the way that Rob Sherwood has gone through and tried to change his process to bring that into account. Anyway, go ahead with your comment about real ham radio, because anything that gets somebody to push the mic button or key up or transmit a digital signal and communicate is ham radio. Over to you, George.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, back on Rob Sherwood for a moment, he's expect to see some transmitter tests coming out. He's as frustrated as some of us are on how manufacturers have been so focused on DR3 and improving their, trying to reach that 110 dB level, that they've completely ignored the transmitters, and some of the equipment out today has transmitters that are as dirty or worse than some of the 1970s modified CB radios. They're absolutely horrid. And so we're pushing the ARL, and some people who are influential in the hobby are pushing these manufacturers to, hey, you know what? Stop with the receiver nonsense. It's time to look at the transmitters, because we wouldn't need such great receivers if these transmitters were not so dirty. You can tell who's operating what radio during a contest by how wide their signal is and how much splatter when they're running an amplifier is coming off their signal. Some of these guys are taking up enough room for 3 or 4 other people to be working. So, and as far as user interface, I understand that the world is SDR and we got touch screens now, and I like them for what they are. I enjoy using the new touchscreen radios, but I don't enjoy using them as much as something like an Yaesu 1000 MP or something like that. I like the big radios with a lot of knobs and buttons, and it was just fun. It was a fun experience to operate. So with that said, I don't like the term "what is real ham radio," because what is real ham radio is what you like, and pushing what you like on other people is not what being an Elmer is about. Ham radio is like any other science or STEM-based activity. Saying that Echolink or AllStar or even just FM repeaters aren't real ham radio is kind of like saying that geology isn't real science compared to nuclear physics. It's just another branch of the same area of science. Echolink is like any other specialized field within the much larger scope of what is ham radio. And just because I enjoy chasing DX or DXpeditions, just because I enjoy working with high-powered tube amplifiers and vintage equipment, doesn't mean that that's what ham radio is. That's what ham radio is to me, but it's not what ham radio is to other people, and people who don't understand or can't differentiate between those two are what seem to be the problem. I would never tell someone that Echolink wasn't ham radio. I would tell them that as an Elmer that I'm probably not the best person to help you with it because I don't have a great deal of experience with it. Now, if you want to know how to rebuild an amplifier with a 3CX1500 or a 3500 Z-tube, then I might be able to help you. I mean, if you want to know how to assemble a high-power HF station to chase a DXpeditions, then I might be able to help you. If you're interested in microwaves or working satellites, I can help you. There are people out there who can help you with that. But no one person can be an expert in the entire field of what encompasses ham radio. You can be a general practitioner like a doctor. You have a little bit of knowledge in everything. You can take an interest in a few very specific fields and become a specialist. But unless you're a clone of Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory, there's no way any one person can be an expert in the entire field of what encompasses ham radio. So with that, back to G.
AI6US. Well, George, you just won the award for timeout. We have the timeout set for 4 minutes, so anyway, that was 4 or 5 flips of the soft egg timer. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I can't, it's all about what, it's so many rabbit holes in amateur radio. And, one person enjoys CW and another person enjoys FM rag chew on a local repeater. It's all about getting people on the air and using the gear. And I think that is quite often lost. Well, George, this was a quick in and out, believe it or not, so I better close because I've been sitting here for almost 3 hours, and life is calling.
Yep, and I've got to get in the shop, so N6YG.
All right, George. No, we'll get you in on a rag chew session one of these times, but yeah, I better finish off this list here and get on. But yeah, absolutely great points on receiver and just radio testing in general. And let's hope that something more respected comes out, that people can see the full story rather than just what can optimize a radio for a good report. So good points there. N6YG AI6US. Brian, KM6MDM, if you're still there, you've waited a long time. Good morning, Brian. Anything for the net?
Hey, Brian, it's Brian, KM6MDM. Hopefully my audio is a little bit better than you heard before. Do you copy KM6MDM?
Yeah, I do copy, but you're way overdriven, and it sounds like you're running an inverter in the background, possibly. Just a lot of audio. When you go silent with your voice, the carrier just has a lot of RF, some sort of interference on it.
Yeah, this is a Heil microphone going into an FTDX1. I'm going to try to play with the gain a little bit, but odd. But anyway, thanks for coming back to me, Brian. I'm going to keep playing with it. KM6MDM. I'll go ahead and clear for now, in and out. Have a wonderful morning.
Quick, for Brian, the microphone and press the MOX button for a moment. We can hear a carrier without your mic connected.
Can you repeat that one more time, Brian?
Yeah, I don't visualize the front panel of that FT1, but do you have a button on the front of that radio that says MOX, M-O-X? If you do, that is your that's a key up button. That's your basically we'll put it in transmit mode. If you press that button with the microphone detached, you will be transmitting just a carrier without a microphone. I wanted to see if that sounded clean.
All right, well, this is MOX on. Any difference there, Brian?
Yeah, so unplug your microphone from the radio and just press the MOX button for 5 seconds, and then take it out of transmit, hook your mic back up, and I'll let you know what we heard. All right, Brian, good news and bad news. Your transmission was nice and clean. Bad news is it's something in the microphone. Maybe the drive is turned up too high on it, or maybe the wiring is incorrect. But yeah, without your microphone connected up and you hit the MOX button, you had a clean carrier.
And Bob? All right, hey, thanks, Brian. I'm coming at the standard mic right now. Hopefully that audio is a little bit better. I obviously just plugged in this Heil microphone, so I got a lot to play with. Mic coming over better with the standard mic?
Absolutely clean and perfect. Yeah, it's the wiring on that, and yeah, we'll get moving on here, Brian. But yeah, that was definitely it.
Info for Brian too.
Yeah, go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, Brian too there, MDM. It was not the wiring per se, but it was definitely the drive on the microphone. The Heil microphones have a very sensitive drive, especially on FM, so I would turn the drive down. If you want to hear exactly what you sounded like, 2 hours and 54 minutes to about 2 hours and 58 minutes here on my live stream of this morning's Coffee Break Net is where we are at with current timing. So if you look up my call sign, Kilo Golf 6 November, Lima Whiskey, KG6 NLW on YouTube, and go to the 2 hour 54 minute mark, you'll be able to hear exactly what it sounds like.
Hey, that's excellent. I really appreciate it. I think what the problem is I need to turn the mic gain down on this mic, but I'll definitely test that later. But Brian, I'm going to let you go ahead and get your get going here. I know we're getting late on the break net, so have a good day, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and clear KM6MDM 73.
All right, very good, Brian. Good to hear you on this morning. And yeah, I believe the gain even on the radio itself is a bit high. So combine that with a high gain on the Heil, it's probably what's really, because even using the regular mic, it's still a bit too hot. The deviation is a little too much on that. Have a wonderful day. Great to hear you on, and we'll catch up with you later on, Brian. KM6MDM AI6US73. All right. My bladder says wrap it up. So with that, we're going to go for the log only. Anybody want to get in the log this morning, please spread it out. Don't jump on it. Don't everybody key up at once. I'll get you all in the log before I close up the net. Anyone for the log, for the Coffee Break Net on the W6EK repeater and connected repeaters and nodes.
K6TBZ for the log.
Kilo 6 Victor Papa for the log.
Chicken noodle soup.
Kilo Delta 6 Hotel Oscar November. Thanks, Brian. Kilo Mike. Kilo log.
Good morning, Brian. W6GLW for the log, please.
Kilo Oscar 6 Hotel Kilo Tango.
For the log. Have a great day.
WB7, GX, log only.
Whiskey Bravo 3, Charlie Sierra Yankee, log only. My clear node timed out 4 times in a row back there.
KN6 SSP, chicken noodle soup. All right. Have a good day, Brian.
KG6PIX, have a great day.
KB50.
AI6LZ.
All right. KG6PIX, twice here you haven't let up the push to talk, so yes indeed. That was KG6PIX Max. Okay, I have KB6ED, good morning Ed, got you in the log. AI6LZ, got you in the log there, Bert. Kilo Bravo 5, Golf Alpha Oscar. Did I get the call right? I looked on Supermon, KB5VAO, got you in the log. Good morning, Art, KN6SSP, and good morning to Rick, WB3CSY. And let's see, just be a second here. I'm just trying to clean up, let's see, find my place on the list as I was feverishly scribbling things down. UKX, WB7 UKX, good morning, Dick. Got you in the log. KN6USH, good morning, Mike. Got you in the log as well. And let's see, HKT, that would be, is that Colin, K06HKT?
Good morning, Brian. That's correct. Kilo Oscar 6, Hotel Kilo Tango. Here to say hi.
All right, got you in the log there. I only got a partial call on you. Then I got a GLW. Let me see, GLW. Just got some partial calls. W6GLW, is that you, Gerry?
Yes, it is, Brian. Good morning.
Good morning, Gerry. Got you in the log. KM6MM, good morning, Mike. Got you in the log. And good morning to Joe, KD6HON. And great to hand you that prize from the Hamfest, the kit there for the Anderson Power Poles. Hope you enjoyed that. And great to see you at the club meeting. KG6PIX, that was Max. And KB7 DFP, chicken noodle soup. Enjoy your chicken noodle soup there. K6VP, good morning to Dan. And let's see, I got a Z call. I'm going to take a wild guess there. Maybe that's K6GBZ. Let me check that out. Was that Tom, K6GBZ at the top?
Yes, it was. Roger, Roger.
Got you in the log. Okay, I know there were some doubles that happened in there. Did I miss anyone? Did you not hear your call?
KO6, IDV, Dan.
All right, KO6IDV, Dan, you are in the log. All right, this is going to be last call for the log. We are way over time. Anyone else for the log, for the Coffee Break Net as we wrap up the day?
KN6TUH.
All right, KN6TUH, great to hear you on. It's been a long time. Maybe see you at the upcoming fox hunt. All right, that's going to wrap us up here for this Monday morning. And, some interesting conversations, some great conversations, and that's what this net is all about. Thanks for joining us this morning. Coffee Break Net will be back tomorrow morning here on the W6EK Repeater and connected repeaters and nodes, which are probably all cleared by 10:30. Coffee Break Net, sponsored by the Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club. We're here every day of the week except Saturday the 25th. We will not have a Coffee Break Net, so mark your calendars. But we are typically here every day of the week, 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Time. That's 1430 to 1700 UTC. I'm Brian, AI6US, returning the W6EK repeater and connected repeaters and nodes back to normal operation. Everyone have a wonderful day, and 7-3.